Mexico's most important newspapers has just released an investigation revealing that the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration dealt directly with one of Mexico's most powerful drug cartels to provide information on rival criminal organizations. Agents allegedly met with Sinaloa cartel representatives on Mexican soil. That's against agreements signed by the two countries. Let's get the latest now from CCTV correspondent John Holman. He's live in Mexico City. And John, how surprised are Mexicans by these revelations?
Well, they're not really going to be that surprised is the honest answer to that one. You've got to remember, just to put this into context, in the last couple of years, Mexicans have found out that US agencies allowed over 1,000 weapons to pass into Mexico illegally, just to see where those would end up. Going back even further, perhaps to the 1980s, it was strongly claimed that US agencies used a drug lord's ranch to grow and then sell drugs, and also as a training ground. So the fact that US agencies may have bypassed Mexican authorities to deal directly with cartel representatives for information may irritate quite a lot of people here, but it's going to surprise fairly few of them.
What about the reaction from Mexican authorities? Are you hearing much from them?
Well, we've been on the phone this afternoon to the Mexican president's office and also to Mexico's foreign ministry. They didn't want to comment on this, and to be honest, it didn't really seem to be on their radar too much. You have to remember that this happened under the administration of former President Felipe Calderon, and he seemed to have a bit more of an open door policy with regard to US agencies getting involved in the struggle against organized crime. The attitude there seemed to be that Mexican institutions were weakened and that any help that they could get would be good. We also spoke on the phone this afternoon to the ex-head of one of the ex-heads of Mexico's unit against organized crime, and he said that he detected a change in the attitude of the current administration under Enrique Peña Nieto. Their attitude seems to be shutting slightly that open door policy, tolerating a bit less US involvement in the country's struggle against organized crime, which is still a massive struggle in this country.
You're talking about potentially shutting these open door policy. These revelations, can they damage relations between Mexico and the United States?
Well, this really isn't going to affect too much that relationship. Of course, it's not going to mean that it's going to generate a lot more trust between the two countries as they continue to try and tackle this problem of organized crime. But the reality is that about 80% of Mexico's trade is with the United States, and it really can't afford to derail that relationship over an incident like this one. An old Mexican president once said, "Poor Mexico, so far from God and so close to the United States." And the sort of wry resignation of that statement and its acceptance now 100 years later still seems to ring fairly true in Mexico, Mike.
John Holman live for us in Mexico City. Thank you.